There are two types of off-road adventure, and believe it or not, this is one of them. You know, you think about it, what is off-road exploration all about? Finding amazing places, hopefully remote, hopefully full of wildlife and natural beauty. We want to be as comfortable as possible as we're traveling, yes, sure we do. Well, this is the other side of the coin. This is a lodge called Kaingo. It's in the heart of the Waterberg. Beautiful setting, beautiful lodge, really good food. So we're going to spend some time here exploring this other side of off-roading, the luxury side. You join me as I spend time with the Leopard Conservation Project in the Waterberg, an area of unspoilt wilderness in the heart of South Africa's Limpopo province. I am being coddled in comfort at one of its luxury game lodges, Kaingo. The vehicles are the Toyota Land Cruiser 200 V8 diesel and the 3-litre Toyota Land Cruiser Prado diesel. What's more, after I'm finished at Kaingo, for the first time I am going off-road caravanning. The Cruiser 200. I can't think of a time when I have driven long distance where I've been this comfortable. It eats up the miles. It's amazingly quiet. With V8, this is actually a D4D. They call it D4D. I'm not sure why they don't call it D8D. It's actually two D4Ds stuck together to make a V8. It's responsive, quiet, brilliant, and we're towing a big, heavy trailer. It has made the towing experience an absolute pleasure. I can't say I'm hooked on towing, but the cruiser's made up for it. Fred Barrenjay heads up the Leopard Conservation Project in the area. Already he's been called out to a leopard trapped in a poacher's cage, only to find it empty.
Because he seems to be jammed up here.
The only thing he could save that day was a leopard tortoise.
If I look very carefully, you can see here, lots of fur. That's the indication. There's a nail. This is an indication that this animal was ripping its nails, ripping its teeth to try and get out this cage.
And just yesterday he went to collect a tracking collar from a local farmer who had found it and had called Fred in.
That's my collar. It's AS161. This animal was collared a year ago, and I specifically came up this weekend to go and track this animal, remove this collar, and I've got enough data from him, so he's done his work, and I was too late. Just take a whiff of that. It smells of very fresh dead meat.
Yeah.
This is the indication that the leopard was on a kill, busy feeding when it was shot.
I thought there was an unspoken rule that you don't hunt tagged or collared animals.
Well, absolutely, that's what we're hoping would happen, but in this case obviously not. You can see this is desperately been hacked off by some blunt object in desperation to get rid of it, and luckily we found it. Normally what they do is they drive over it or they burn it. I've rescued out of poachers' cages 12 leopards in the last 4 months, which is the most I've ever done. I normally do like 3 a year. You get 3 people that are involved. You've got the farmer, who's got the land where the leopards are. Then you've got a middleman. He's the dangerous guy. He's the guy that I need to get hold of, because he's the guy that goes to the farmers and he says to them he'll pay them 5,000 to 10,000 rand for a leopard, depending on size, and he goes and sets cages on these farms. And the farmers just turn a blind eye and they do it and they get their cash and off they go. Then you've got the guy at the top. He's the guy that we also need to get a hold of. He's the outfitter that brings in the hunter, and he sells that leopard for up to 150,000 rand. So the outfitter gets 150,000 rand, the middleman gets between 14 and 40,000, and the farmer gets about 5. In the last few months, we uncovered a syndicate of farmers, obviously relying on the leopard to now sustain them financially.
Why is it valuable?
Because it's a very sought after trophy all over the world.
Oh, it's a trophy. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So what happens?
So if that, no, just hold on a minute. I'm just trying to form a picture in my mind. There's this animal now locked in a cage.
Yes.
How do they kill it?
You're not going to believe this. They actually shoot that animal in the cage. A lot of the time they can't. The cages that I've got to at times, you cannot open that cage. And you can't come near the cage because the holes in the cage are too big. So the animal can get you. So they have to shoot that animal or dart it. What they also do is they tranquilize the animal. They bring the hunter in. Then they open the cage while it's tranquilized. Let it wake up all drowsy, and then the guy shoots it.
And that's his trophy.
That's his trophy.
Great white hunter.
Great white hunter. Great world
Brave
hunter. Brave hunter, yeah. I was literally a week too late.
His name?
We named him Capacity because the Capacity group paid for all the costs to do the collaring.
Okay.
When we did collaring.
Okay. Another call out, and it's the first time I've seen Fred with a sincere, happy look on his face all week.
The reason why we're closing the cage is to keep it nice and dark so the animal calms down, and it gives time for the vet to prepare the dart so that we can tranquilize it. Frikkie I met about 6 months ago. He wanted to get involved in protecting the leopards in the area, and it's worked out really nicely for leopard conservation project, because now I have ears and eyes in the area. He's formed himself almost a little sanctuary here. It's a safe haven for leopards, so that's why we have the cages set all the time. I've got permits for these cages, and whatever leopards come through here, because they're hunters in the area, when they come through here they feel very safe, and we try and get as much data of animals moving through the area. So it's a great way to get research done. Okay, jy weet wat om te doen, Frikkie. Ja. Net hom weer gebreek. Breek. Altyd. Okay.
Fred makes absolutely sure that the drug has taken full effect before opening the cage.
The reason why she's still moving around, they haven't given her too much tranquilizer because of her condition. So I'm just going to quickly take the sizes and get that over with and get her back in the cage so that she can wake up and she can be on her way. Okay, this is just a cream that I put in the eyes because the eyes stay open during tranquilization, and it's just to make sure that it doesn't go dry. The chances are good that her mother was killed by a hunter and she was left to fend for herself. That's why you can see the body condition is not good at all. The fur condition is pretty good, so she hasn't started losing any condition on the hair, but yeah, she's not in great shape, but she'll be fine now.
I asked Fred, what are the long-term prospects for this animal?
The chances now are good because it's on this property. Normally it has a 50% chance of reaching its first birthday.
I've never been much of a caravan man, or even a trailer man for that matter. So we're travelling now to experiment with trailers. One thing I do figure though, with a trailer, if you're going to carry a trailer with all of the paraphernalia and huge tents and everything, why not a caravan? What's actually the difference? And what I'm doing right now is I'm actually going to go and look at a caravan that is parked on top of a hill. It's been parked there for over 30 years. No one lives there, yet the caravan is still in perfect condition, and nobody knows why. This is also giving me a nice opportunity to take the Prado off-road. I'm playing with a gearbox. Something's just occurred to me. These vehicles, these modern vehicles, are now electronic gadgets. So you might be in the pub and your mate asks you, hey, have you got any new toys lately, new electronic toys lately? And you say, yeah, I just bought myself a Toyota Prado. Because electronics are determining how I drive this vehicle. And it's becoming inescapable. And I'm personally finding it a little bit difficult to get used to. The gearbox is a Tiptronic style gearbox. You put it in sport mode, and now I'm in low range, and I can decide whether to go into first, second, third, etc. low range, even though it's an automatic gearbox. But sometimes it's not doing what I want. So I have to say, no car, I know more than you. But the electronics is saying, you don't know more than me, I know more than you. So there's this little bit of conflict. Sometimes I'm saying, no, I want to be in second, and the car's saying, no, third's better. So battling to get used to these electronic cars that think they know more than I do. Do you hear that fearful sound? That is me playing with my electronic toy. Cruel mode in the Prado. Now, it has multiple speeds, and that noise, it's actually okay. That's the traction control system acting on the brakes and keeping this car moving very, very slowly. And I can adjust the speed. It's at the lowest speed possible now. I'm going to speed it up. Isn't that cool? A bit higher. So, how can this be used to help us drive really, really well? Well, to drive well off-road, you have to try and drive smoothly. You have to try and keep the vehicle traveling at an even speed. This does it for you. Okay, so now in this situation, over lumpy rocks, I tell the vehicle how fast I want to drive, take my foot off the accelerator, off the brakes, off everything, and it will keep it running nice and smoothly, all on its own. Different way of game viewing. I think this is brilliant. There it is. There it is. Nick Kalichi manages Kaingo. He's my guide and has come along to tell me the story.
No, Andrew, nobody at the moment, and nobody has for quite some time. But you'll see once we go inside, it's still really clean. It's not full of dust and cobwebs and what have you. There was somebody that was up for murdering a couple in the area, and he obviously, running from the law, came up here to get away from everybody and lived a subsistence existence up here. It's these little water troughs, and this being such a dry area up in the mountains, there's obviously not a lot of standing water or flowing water. So that's not going to hold a lot of water, but it will certainly attract small game birds, darker.
Alright, and he would just make a wire trap.
Probably a snare. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now it's a bit broken, isn't it?
It is, but I've noticed now that the Ellies have obviously had a go at it. You can see how they've dented it here, rubbed their tusks against it, obviously.
This is a disappointment. Just last evening, Nick was telling me how pristine the Caravan still looks. I must admit it's clean, there are no cobwebs, and it still looks almost inhabited, but the elephants have trashed it. Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed actually. You described it pristine, and like when the Ellies beat us to it.
Yeah. The last time I was up here, obviously the Ellies hadn't got to it, but they've had a field day, something to rub against, something that's not natural. And
A mystery has been committed. Did you enjoy that? Then please subscribe. If you'd like to take our relationship to the next level from just $1 a month to support my productions, or if you'd like to download everything I've ever made, go to forexoverland.com.